right, it's time for another Sun session here at the Armadillo. I'm Kevin Connor. We are really pleased and honored to be the official radio station of the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar now for 10 years. This is the 49th year of the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar. Big anniversary next year. But something we started doing this year is having conversations with people who are involved in the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar, whether they're musicians on this stage or artists showing their work, or Dave Hanford here, who is a supporter of the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar on behalf of Goose on Lime Creek Road.
That's correct. Thank you, Kevin.
All right. Dave, you're first of all, you're supporting the musicians' green room back there.
That's correct. Got to keep them comfortable.
And also you're supporting a big final day event happening today. It's the String Off. And I saw an artist over in that first row over there practicing. And it's challenging. I don't think I could do it. Can you explain what the String Off is?
Sure, I can. I'll give you a little background on it. So anyone who's been coming to the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar at all is probably familiar with Mr. String. He was one of the only toy salesmen allowed here at all in the beginning, though he would tell you he was only selling joy, not toys. And so he was able to throw a knot, or knot juggle, by holding a string with one hand, flick of the wrist. He'd make a knot that would roll down that string, flip the tail through it, and make a knot. He was actually able to call the type of knot it was. He'd be able to do several of them in a row. He could even loop a golf ball on the ground. He had gotten so good at it. And so as he sold his string here at the Armadillo, people started to gain interest in it, started to want to be able to do knots themselves. Many of them got very good, and so in his honor, every year we now hold a String Off, where people come from all around and they themselves try and do a knot juggle and see how many they can get in a minute, and then we crown our winner.
Do you know what the record is?
I do not. That is good trivia.
No pun intended. I do not. Yeah, I saw you paying attention there. So this will be at 3:30 here on the final day. And it'll be on stage?
We'll actually be doing it over in front of Trouble Hall so that they can actually go ahead and get it changed out for the bands out here. We got to give the musicians the big stage.
That's right.
Those who know how to make music with strings apparently get a bigger stage than those who know how to make knots.
Yes, yes. So how did you get involved with Mr. String?
Well, we were actually lucky enough to just a few years ago acquire a house just on the outskirts of town. It was a stone-built home, quirky as all get out, and we found out that it was actually hand-built by Mr. String himself. We decided to take that home and turn it into a musician's writer's retreat and boutique studio. So we now have musicians come out there, spend a week or so, write and record. We also do intimate shows out there. And so as we found the connection between the Armadillo, obviously music, and what those creatives were doing out there, we needed to find out how we could help what was going on at the Armadillo. So we reached out to Bruce and Andy at the time and said, we've got this home, we love Mr. String, we love all the lore and every part of it, how can we do more? And so that's when they said, well, be more part of our family and more part of the music. And so now we've started sponsoring the green room, and then we've moved on to also we provide the prize each year. This year you'll have the option to either win tickets to one of our intimate shows, or we're also supporters of the Sonic Guild organization in town, and we'll also be providing the option to Sonic Guild ball tickets this year to the winner as well.
Very cool. Where is the Goose?
Sure. We don't like to say exactly where it is,
no.
other than it's right on the outskirts of town, and it's actually on several acres of preserve. So you feel like you're far enough away, but Uber Eats still delivers there.
Okay, good. Good deal. Secret location. I'll tell you later if I find out. So why did you want to take this house and make it a studio and make it a retreat for musicians?
Well, so when we first bought the property and saw the view, we talked about lots of different things. You know, should we mow down this quirky house and put up some monstrosity and live there, or should we just turn it into an event center, Airbnb kind of thing? And so we toyed with a lot of those ideas. But then we had some musicians come out to actually perform a show out there, and they asked us about the house. Could we stay inside there for a week and write? And we thought, well, that's interesting. We'd never considered that. Sure, go ahead. We did that a couple of times. Then they started to bring some producers with them. And the producers actually asked, well, you've got a couple of other bedrooms up there. What are you thinking of doing with those? And we're like, well, we're not really sure. And they're like, well, Could you make it sort of like a studio? You don't need all the gear, but an isolation
Right.
room, maybe a live room, some things like that. We're like, well, yeah, we could probably do that. And so it sort of snowballed into there. Other producers told other producers, their music friends told their music friends, and we just sort of turned into a musician-only R&B writers retreat with a boutique studio.
Very cool. Now, do you have a background in music or just an appreciation?
Truly just a music lover. My wife and I met in musical theater, but no one should hear me sing. But other than that, no background in music other than just our pure love of musicians and the art they create.
Who's your favorite band?
Oh, I can't do that. It's like picking your favorite children, so I won't.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, mine are here. It'd be awkward. No, actually,
Ballpark, again.
Oh, ballpark. How about we say some local legends that we love very much? Our Vallejo, AJ Vallejo is a true friend of ours. Madam Radar, who just played here last night, great friend. Andrew McGee and Ben Jones from Beatroot Revival, who just played here.
There you go.
Midnight Snack with Ty and Miggy and
Okay.
Steve Funk. So the list goes on. We love them all.
Now we're talking. All right. So the future of the Goose, and that's what you call it, the Goose,
Correct.
is just to continue becoming a haven for musicians and to create work?
We will absolutely continue to be a haven for musicians out there and give them a place to create. We have expanded as the year has gone on over the past couple of years to reach out a little further than where we are. We've put on a couple of different showcases. This last South by, we did an unofficial showcase downtown. We've also helped promote some individual bands as well and try and connect musicians with other musicians that need help building their bands. And so we've even had a couple of albums we've been a part of that have come out this past year. And so,
Really?
yeah, and so we're
Very cool.
excited to grow more in that way as well. So as we've met these musicians and we've seen the help they need and to get out there in the community and be seen and heard, we're trying to help them get those avenues as much as we can.
Well, one of the things about making a life in music in Austin is it used to be cheap to live here. It was affordable. You could get a little place to rent, maybe do a side gig, just enough money to pay the rent, and you could spend time being a musician. Other people were attracted to Austin, and I think in a large part because of our music scene. And now it's very expensive, as you've probably heard. Very expensive to live here in Austin. And if we want to continue to be considered the live music capital of the world, which always kind of made me laugh anyway, but apparently there was a study and we had more clubs at one time per capita than any other community in the United States. But if we want to be able to legitimately say that, patronage, such as what you're doing with the Goose, such as what Sonic Guild is doing, formerly known as Black Fret, they're now Sonic Guild, and other organizations, that patronage is necessary. Mozart couldn't have survived his short life without patronage.
100%. You look at any of the arts, ballet, orchestra, all of those, it's very common that people are like, oh, I will donate to keep that art going.
Yeah.
Where popular music or live music as we experience it today, all of us use it in our daily lives all the time, but very rarely think to give back other than, well, I buy an album every now and then.
Yeah,
And
I'll
so
go to a show.
I'll go to a show. I'll catch something here and there. No, so I think you're exactly right. I love when people do that extra step. And talking about the organization, Sonic Guild, we're very proud supporters, members of that organization, and I would encourage anyone who is a supporter of live music to consider being a member. In fact, if you join now, the ball is coming up on January 18th, where we'll be announcing who won our last year's grants. They'll all receive varying amounts of money, generally over $10,000 per band who's awarded, and I believe we'll probably have, I'm hoping for up to 15 bands, but we'll know for sure at the ball that we'll receive that this year. So becoming a member of that greatly helps the live music community.
Very cool. Okay, one last question about the Goose. The location is a secret.
That's right.
Is there a website?
Yes, you can find us on thegooseonlimecreek.com, or if you really kind of want to see more actively what we're up to, you can see us on Instagram at thegooselc. and so then you'll kind of see pictures and things that are going on there.
Okay, good.
The only reason, we kind of keep it a secret location
Yes.
is because we do have some artists who come out who, they do have a fan base, and they don't necessarily want them to know exactly where they're going to be,
Sure.
and makes it.
Yeah.
You can still find us. Good grief, there's Google. You can find anybody, but
you
but
really
we just don't make it easy.
You don't want to post a lot of signs. Expensive recording equipment here.
Show up.
Yeah,
You're absolutely
come
right.
on by, no problem. The Goose on limecreek.com.
Yes, sir.
Very cool. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well.
And do you have any idea how many people are doing the string off?
I do not. Each year, I think it kind of varies. It depends on who's in the building and who has the guts to step up.
Right.
But I will encourage anyone who has never not juggled before to take a chance. In fact, Mr. String's instruction manual tells you the less you expect the string to do, the better off you're going to do. So you really just have to kind of let the knot happen.
Let the string do its thing.
Ooh, very nice.
Hey now. I'm a string savant. Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.